Before I begin, I'd just like to thank our judges, the proposition team, my partner, for being here today. Now, once again, today's resolution is this House believes that when in conflict, public safety outweighs personal privacy. Now, this is a value round, and as we stated earlier, we believe that the judging criteria should be weight of circumstances, or the superiority of values based on weight of circumstances, and it seems like both teams agree with this. However, the only real definitional debate that we have with the proposition team today is this definition of privacy. Now, the proposition team tried to define personal privacy as a person's openness. What does this even mean? That's not a definition for privacy. Privacy does not equal openness. That just doesn't make sense for a definition of privacy. We believe that a fair definition of privacy, a more topical definition of privacy, is that the government should not be allowed to illegally search and seize a person based on the Third Amendment. We believe that this is a fair definition and not some definition such as openness, which doesn't make sense according to the resolution today. Now, moving on, first I'll go over our off-case points and then move back on to the proposition's on-case points as my partner did as well. Now, our first off-case point was that when American citizens are forced to give up their rights to protect others, it just doesn't make sense. Now, as my partner stated, for every one person hurt in the September 11th attacks, 150,000 people, for each single person hurt by September 11th, has their rights infringed upon because of this attack. Now, obviously, this isn't right. 150,000 people should not be affected for one person who was hurt by and using the Patriot Act. Now, my partner challenged the proposition team to come up with a single example, any numbers as to how much or any time when infringements of personal privacy helped public safety. When infringements of personal privacy, when did that actually stop a terrorist attack? When did that actually do any good? We're asking for numbers, which is not that unrealistic to ask for. We believe that this is fair to ask for. My partner challenged the proposition team for this, and yet they came up with nothing. They had no refutations and no real examples. Now, if we're going to judge a debate based on weight of circumstances, and the proposition team can't come up with a single circumstance, well then how can they win today's debate? Remember that as I take their one and only POI.
Aren't our 5 contentions examples enough for you?
They are broad statements. They're assertions. They have no examples under them, as ours do. Moving on to our second point, that when we take away personal privacy, we validate terrorists. We say we are scared of those terrorists. They have power over us, and that's why we need to be scared. We need to let the terrorists have power and take away our personal freedoms. Obviously, this is not what we want. This is not beneficial to society. And as we stated earlier, the proposition team hasn't proved why it would be worth it to even give up our personal privacy. The only thing that we've discovered through this debate is that when we give up personal privacy, it validates terrorists. It does not do anything to help public safety. Now, moving on to our third and final point, that is that that giving up personal privacy in favor of public security is ineffective. Let's look at the recent underwear bombing. Now, Abdul Muttalib went onto a plane, and even though we give up some privacy in airports, he was still able to get by. It was ineffective. All of the rights of Americans that are taken away when they go through airport security, it doesn't even matter because some people are still able to get through. Obviously, if it's ineffective, why should we keep a system that infringes upon the constitutional rights of the American citizens? In addition, we talked about how drugs get through and into our country, and yet we still have personal security being taken away, personal privacy being taken away in order to try to stop drug trades. However, it's still happening. Obviously, if a system's ineffective, we should not value that system. Moving on to the propositions on case points. Their first was that, oh, well, it's a U.S. right. They said if you value the laws of this country, if you respect the laws of this country, you should vote for the proposition team. However, this is an assertion. They said that, oh, well, the government's job is to protect the general welfare. That's what it is. However, this is what's said in the Declaration of Independence. That's not the Constitution. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, part of the Constitution, say that the 13th Amendment makes any search and seizures illegal. Obviously, if we value and respect the laws of the land, we value personal privacy. Moving on to their second point, that that it's more productive, that we want cameras to help public safety. However, first of all, it's illegal for governments to just put tapes, to tape citizens. I'm sorry, I said I'd only take 1 point. To tape citizens. The cameras that they're talking about are in private areas that don't apply to the general scope of the debate. In addition, they have no numbers, no examples as to how much cameras in, say, a bank stop or prevent crimes. Obviously, with no examples, they can't win today's debate. Their third point was that criminals should not have personal privacy. Yes, criminals are not American citizens in the sense that everyone else is. They're a special class that do not have personal privacy. This is a different aspect and should not be included in the scope of today's debate. We're talking about two completely different things. And their fourth point was that, well, we want to save money using public safety. This is a little bit unclear. They say, oh, well, if we had more public safety, there wouldn't be people in hospitals. However, there's really no link in here. The proposition team is asserting that if we got rid of personal privacy, then there'd be more public safety. However, they haven't shown any examples. In addition, their fifth and final point was that they're sacrificing privacy for society. However, these are two different issues that sacrificing something is not having it taken away. For all these reasons, we urge a vote in favor of the opposition team. Thank you.